looked at another maker shop on Instagram and kind of just thought, why are they so far ahead of me? Like, what makes them better than me? This episode is for you. I'm going to show you how to flip comparison into something that fuels your business and you instead of draining it. Comparison, honestly, is one of the fastest, surefire ways to lose momentum in your handmade business. You can go from being really excited about your own products to feeling like you should just quit and it's all just for nothing. And this can happen in the space of like 2 minutes during an Instagram doom scroll session. But there is one way to use comparison as fuel instead of letting it knock you off track. So in this episode, I'm going to be sharing with you why your brain falls into that comparison trap and how to spot it before it spirals. Now, I do have some notes here, so if you see me looking down, that'll be why, because I really want to make sure this episode is not tangentful, but also an episode that's actually going to be stuff that you can do rather than just lovely, fluffy, rainbow unicorn BS fluff, you know what I mean? So that's why I've got notes. So we want to talk about a simple reframe to turn jealousy into inspiration. We also want to stay laser focused on your own growth without ignoring your market. So if you're new here, hello, my name is Steph and I help handmade business owners start, run and scale their handmade business so that it goes from an expensive hobby to something that is fruitful and actually brings you in profit each month. Now that can be 6 figures plus a year, or it can be £100 a month, whatever feels good to you. Okay, so I want to split this video into 3. So the first thing is notice the highlight reel trap, okay? When you're scrolling on Instagram or Etsy, you are seeing another maker's best moments, okay? Their curated wins, perfect lighting, and hand-picked success stories. That is what you're seeing. You are seeing a highlight reel. It's a bit like going to Abercrombie and Fitch, not that I vibe with them at all, but it's a bit like going into their store and being like, oh, there's like this mannequin that has a waist that's like this. And, you know, that's how that's going to look on me. No, because all of our bodies are very different, right? It's kind of like looking at that and being like, really, because when you put that particular outfit on, it's not looking the same thing. It's the highlight reel. All of their mannequins are like the best that outfit is going to look, in their opinion. Now, don't get me started on mannequins clothing because it will be a long one, but you kind of see what I mean here, right? So what you're not seeing is the 20 failed product ideas before one went viral. You're also not seeing the night that they were up at 2 a.m. packing orders. You're not seeing the pile of oops products that didn't sell and are sitting in a box in their garage, loft, storage. And the fact that they might have been building this business for 10 years, not 10 months, and you're only seeing the kind of latter end of the success spectrum and thinking, oh, they've done that really, really quickly, right? So an action step through this is during busy seasons like Christmas prep and all that kind of stuff, give yourself a comparison diet. Only check competitor accounts maybe once a month or once a week if you're really kind of trying to wean yourself off, not daily. And just fill that extra scroll time with engaging with your own customers in comments, in DMs, whatever. And also posting and creating your own content. You know what they say? Create, don't consume. That's what I want you to focus on here. And also you can do other things like working on a product photo refresh. And another thing that I like to do here is if it's really bad, you know what I mean? Where it's like, okay, I am always on Instagram and the algorithm and my feed is constantly showing me other people that are doing the same thing as me. If you go to the top right-hand corner, you can click the cross or click hide or click not interested. So you can actually tell the algorithm, and that's you telling it that you don't want to see anything else like it. Because sometimes we feel like all I'm seeing is successful people who make soap. All I'm seeing is successful jewelry makers. Well, no, that's not the case. That's all you're seeing, but that's because the algorithm is showing this stuff to you because you've interacted with it before, okay? And the second thing that I would like to say here is that I like to give myself a time limit. So if you're on Apple, you can set up, I think it's called time limits. I'm actually filming on my phone, so I can't look right now. But I give myself 10 minutes a day on Threads and Instagram, and that's all I give myself. And that is kind of my my way of doing a comparison diet, because I know as soon as I get to Facebook around the 7-minute mark, I'm going to eventually find myself comparing myself to other people. So there you go. Okay, so number 2 is turn jealousy into a clue. So that little twinge of, ugh, I wish my shop looked like that, is actually a signal, okay? And I want you to ask yourself, what specifically am I drawn to here? Like what's vibing with me here right now, what I'm seeing, okay? Do they have crisp, consistent product photography and you're like, ooh, nice? Is it the way they weave a personal story into every single post that you're vibing with? Or is it because their packaging looks absolutely bomb and you're like, oh, I love that, I wish mine looked like that? Once you've spotted that one thing that you're admiring, that you're vibing with, you can actually break it down into something you can learn and adapt for your own business, for your own brand, without copying, of course, but actually just looking at what's stirring those feelings up and how can I put that into my own business, okay? So example 1. You notice another jewelry person and their photos look absolutely amazing. You're like, oh, I wish my photos could look like that. You figure out it's because they use consistent props and natural lighting, and you're looking through their feed and going, oh, okay, yeah, that's what I'm vibing with. You decide to invest in a couple of new props and batch shoot your products in the morning light each and every week. So there you go. You've taken what you like and you've incorporated it into your own business, okay? Now, example 2 is you admire a candle maker's unboxing videos, right? You realize it's the tissue paper and the branded sticker that creates that wow factor for you. So you can add a festive sticker to your own stuff, right? And kind of incorporate what they're doing into your own stuff, okay? So here's an action step that I want you all to take. I want you to start a swipe file notepad or notes, and it can be on your phone. I was about to pull up my phone case, but it's empty because my phone is here. But you can put it in the notes bit on your phone. You can add it to a Google Doc. You can scribble it down on a piece of paper by your desk, okay? But you want some kind of place where you can make notes of all the things. Anytime those feelings are being stirred, you want to grab your pen or your phone and you want to write down exactly what it is that you're vibing with on that thing that's making you feel a little bit jealous, okay? So the third thing is remember that your timeline is extremely unique. Your handmade business journey is shaped by a lot of things, okay? It's shaped by your product type. Some things are seasonal, others sell out year in, year out. Your price point, so higher price items often have a slower sales cycle, which is okay. Your available time, if you're part-time versus full-time, and also your audience size and the age of your shop. So it's easy to think I should be further along by now, but comparing your year 1 to someone else's year 7, it's like planting a seed to harvesting a mature tree. You know, you go to someone else's back garden and you're like, oh damn, why isn't my apple tree looking like that? You only put the damn seed in last year and it's like a little tiny weeny baby, you know? You can't do that. It's not the same thing. So make sure that you are comparing things that are equivalent to what you do, you know? Slow growth is still growth at the end of the day. And often, and in my experience, it's a lot more sustainable to have that slow growth because slower seasons give you space, it gives you time, and it gives you space to be able to test new designs without that pressure, to build genuine customer relationships, and also to develop the back end of your business, things like SEO, photography, product descriptions, all those kinds of things, right? So here's an example. So a pottery maker might only release 3 new mug designs this season because they also have a full-time job. Let's be honest, right? A full-time knitwear seller might release 12, but they have more hours, experience, and stockists compared to the other one, you know? Both can have successful seasons on their own terms, but they're different. They're different products, they're different target audience, they're at different stages of their business. It's like comparing apples to oranges, I guess, is the kind of, you know, nutshell way to explain this. So your action step is to write down your current priorities for the next 3 months and track your own progress, not someone else's. Your main competition is your past self. Okay, so let's bring in Sam and Lydia, our comparative characters. I just hit my elbow on the table, but that's fine. We're just going to carry on. So Sam spends half of her workday scrolling other makers' feeds. That's just what Sam does. Comparing her sales numbers to theirs, tweaking her listings based on what she thinks is working for them. Her shop feels inconsistent and she's constantly changing direction depending on the competitor she's following or vibing with at that moment. Okay. Lydia keeps a small swipe file of ideas that she admires, but she spends 90% of her energy creating her own stuff, her own content, building her email list, and refining her shop. She knows what's working for her audience and uses comparison as an occasional learning tool, not a daily measuring stick. So your homework is open your own shop, open your own social media feed. I want you to unfollow or mute any accounts that trigger an unhelpful comparison or internal dialogue within your brain. I want you to start your swipe file. So that can be screenshots of ideas that you genuinely love and make a note of why. I want you to set a comparison budget, for example, 15 minutes on Fridays, whatever, to check competitor activity, just to be aware of what's kind of going on within the market. So guys, I really, really hope that that has helped, because I know that comparison is something that a lot of us have to deal with. I understand it's a pain in the ass, but unfortunately, in any business, you are going to feel like this. So you might as well just kind of nip it in the bud and get some more helpful habits in place rather than this one, okay? So guys, thank you so much for watching / listening, and I will see you all same time, same place next week. Bye everyone.